Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1, The Final Puzzle, written by Adriel. Humanity has always had a strange desire to solve problems. We created the scientific process. We industrialized, built behemoths of knowledge and steel. When we ran out of problems to solve, we invented new ones. The moon landing was perhaps our greatest act of curiosity. Millions of people, over almost a decade, centuries of human time. The smartest people on the planet conspired to plant a flag on a distant rock and return with a few pebbles. In truth, it seems we don't understand why we went there. Perhaps it was all politics and personal gain. Perhaps it was just our way of scratching some primal itch. We can't seem to agree, and no one really cares. The rush of discovery ignores reason. The discovery of quantum mechanics was a joyous occasion. It brought so many new questions, so many new ideas to play with. We constructed particle accelerators, dreamed of strange black holes, and explored the world we contrived. In time, we hit a dead end. The universe seemed to run out of answers. It brought us cold fusion, technological advances beyond our wildest dreams. That was simply a happy side effect. Humanity was eager for the next challenge. That was when we cracked a planet. In a matter of years, Mercury was stripped on a scale no man had ever seen. Its mantle was exposed by the pull of the primal desire to expand. We dismantled the planet and used the bones to build an empire. A Dyson swarm circled the sun, harvesting energy and powering our thirst for more. The new space age was a moment of triumph for mankind. We had proven that we could tame the very solar system, and for a time, we were satisfied. Our satisfaction came at a cost. We had built a great beacon for the galaxy to see. For years, we asked if we were alone, and that answer came in the form of the sign. The might of a superior race crippled our fledgling species in a matter of hours. In a single blow, every center of economic power was destroyed. Our shipyards lay in ruin, our largest cities erased from the landscape. And yet, amidst the fear and despair, there was joy. Our invasion was a puzzle worth its solving. We faced a superior foe, and by all accounts they should have destroyed us. The one weapon they couldn't destroy is our drive to solve the unsolvable, and they had our undivided attention. Weaknesses were uncovered, strategies devised. Their technology was explored by our brightest minds, and their secrets were our salvation. With every devastating attack, the enemy's resources dwindled, and our arsenal grew. In time, they managed to lose ground, and eventually were defeated. Our scientists were elated. Never before had so many mysteries been within our grasp. Entire generations could be entertained by the artifacts that the Psi left behind. Every scientific field was overhauled almost overnight. The implications for physics and medicine were a paradigm shift, of course, but even archaeology profited. We scanned Earth down to the micron and discovered every fossil in weeks. In nearly a decade of technological explosions, one technology eluded us. A legion of scientists studied the most valuable artifact with no luck. It was finally cracked, not by a respected physicist, but by a college student at Harvard. For the first time in human history, all of mankind joined in celebration. Faster than light travel had been cracked. The first functional warp drive was tested 2 days later. One corporation had built tens of thousands of replica engines, all in slightly different configurations. They didn't know how it worked, but they had schematics. One happened to be in an almost the right format to support the final equation. The CEO had spent trillions to the first, and after taking a victory lap around Neptune, released his schematics to mankind. All he wanted was to be a part of the discovery. Within a month, a small fleet of warp-capable ships were built. They were crude, but we were filled with enthusiasm. Second contact could not come sooner. Humanity made contact with hundreds of new species. We traded scientific knowledge, adopted alien pets, and built cities on other worlds. It was a level of cooperation the galaxy had never seen. You see, humanity had no empire. It didn't seek conquest, profit, or resources. When a human landed on an alien world, no defense was needed. It simply wanted to explore. Now we explore the galaxy, looking for new problems to solve. We have stopped wars that lasted for centuries, cured diseases, improved technologies, and saved uncountable lives. We ask nothing in return, because the puzzle is our reward. We yearn to move forward, to seek the unknown. What is the final puzzle? We hope we never know. End of story. Story number 2. Dragon Rule, written by a glass of whiskey. He'd been in these foreign lands for some years now, or foreign world. After the explosion, he wasn't too sure. All he knew is that before the explosion, he had never met any dwarves, elves, nor seen magic. Magic, the stuff of wonder, capable of anything, except, of course, bringing him back to the lands that were without it. Many mages he had asked, and all had responded in the same thing. Theirs was the only world. Nothing else existed. He had almost gotten used to it all, even tried to find a comfortable little village to settle down in. But even after all these years, these foreign lands held many surprises, and talking to an old villager about his village revealed one of them. You voted for a man-eating dragon in the mountains. I thought he was a terrible pestilence that brought doom and destruction onto your lands. Why vote for him? Kings and queens he could live with, but some of the more esoteric ruling systems didn't sit quite right with him. 'Cause, the other guy was an ice dragon, and you might think fire is bad, but just 'cause you haven't gotten proper frostbite yet. At least this one's quiet during the winter, the old man retorted. Yes, but why vote for one in the first place? Wouldn't life be much better without a dragon at all? We've always had a dragon, and we will always have a dragon. Thank you very much. It's part of the proud tradition of this kingdom, enshrined in paper by its founder. The old man stretched himself up as he reached the end, even taking all the weight of his cane to stand up proper. Didn't those papers get burned, together with the founder? He had heard the story about that in the next village over, ruled by a sentient man-eating wheel of cheese. Normal little villages, not ruled by things that would eat them, just didn't seem to be a thing here. Minor point, there were copies. The old man was not prepared to back down after something so irrelevant as the founder getting mysteriously burnt to a crisp. Doesn't those contradict each other? Not on the point of the dragon, don't you see? It was binded all together. No dragon, no kingdom. Easy as that. He slammed the cane onto the ground at the last word, as to put an end to the argument started by a foreign fool. He slaughters your creatures, burns the fields. Hey, that's the good thing he does. Helps it grow better next year. Bringer of life, I tell you. And when he burns villages with people in them, the old man could hardly explain that away, could he? Population control. What would you otherwise have us do? Starve when we get to be too many? You're a terrible human being, wanting to inflict that misery on us. No, thanks to the dragon, we never starve. You just get burned to death. The trade-off didn't seem worth it in his opinion. Most of them get stamped to death, actually. Far more pleasant. It was one of the major campaign promises. More stomping of the villagers. You should have heard what the ice dragon tried to sell. What? He leaned a bit closer. Did the fire dragon promise stomping? What could the ice dragon promise that would be worse? Ice sculptures. Can you believe it? Preposterous. It does seem rather strange. Not at all what he expected. Longer winters or icing of villages seemed more in line with the other stuff. And no more killing people. The words came out almost involuntarily, as if the old man had trouble believing that they had even been uttered, and was horrified over that they had been. That seems, rather nice. Ice over fire, easily. How could stomping win over ice sculptures? So you're a starvation man, are you? Get out of my sight and back with your ice dragon-loving likes. From me, you'll only get hot air. Thank you very much. And that the old man turned and walked away as fast as his cane would carry him. Well, perhaps not this village then. Maybe the next one would be ruled by something that liked to kill humans. End of story. The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, click with energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much. I just want to give a quick thanks to the Tier 5 patrons and channel members. Alithia, Barky, Fudic Yol, Cam Maxwell, Casper Onholtz, White Band 420, Lord Asrakal, Arcalian, and Oakfield.